You were tuned in to the Goodfellas Sunday Boxing Talk, episode 10. It's your boy G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. I got my bro with me. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's going on, man? Past couple of days, we had a lot of boxing, a lot of actions, man. We got a lot to discuss today.
Yes, sir. That's Ty Finney, the legend. Ty Finney, the legend. Do not get it confused. Boxing First vlog will be in here in just a moment. We're going to run the intro. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have plenty to discuss on this Sunday. Big shout out to VP Shane. Think he gonna dive in here eventually. Big shout out to Big Bro, Boxing First Vlog. He should be in here momentarily. And we had a whole lot of action yesterday. To be honest with you, I couldn't even get through all the action. Um, Man, I hate when cars kind of go down like this, like when you got like three, four cars that you want to watch and they all fall on the same day, and you're like, as a boxing fan, you're like forced to pick which ones you're gonna watch, which ones you're gonna record, which ones you're gonna catch up with after the fight. It sucks as a boxing fan, but I guess it's better to have too much boxing than not enough, so um Davidian JS has said, "Hey, God bless y'all, good brothers, man. Big shout out to you. Davidian been with us for a minute, man. Big shout out to Davidian. Big shout out to you, bro. Um, man, we got so much to cover. Before we get into what everybody probably wants to talk about, a couple things as far as boxing is concerned. I know the hottest topic out there was Jerron Boots Ennis and Brian Norman Jr. not being signed. A lot of people think Brian Norman was ducking. But Boots Ennis and Bam Rodriguez will be sharing the same card on November 9th in Philly. And that's another situation where we have a fight that's fallen on a day that got a lot of action. You know what I mean? They got a whole lot of action, and we really didn't want it to fall on the ninth because we have Keyshawn Davis the day before. We also have a card in it's in Maryland, Jetta Promotions card. That goes down on November 9th. So we have a stacked day on November 9th. But Boots Ennis loses the purse bid. Well, Eddie Hearn loses the purse bid to Karen and his team, and they still get the home game anyway. Like how surprised were you that Boots was able to get this fight back in Philly, even though Eddie Hearn lost the purse bid?
To be honest with you, like I'm not surprised. This isn't a fight that the fans want, but I kind of called for this because this is the guy that he didn't stop. So now that he gets to fight this guy in a rematch in his backyard, I'm sure it's going to sell out because it's right in his hometown in his backyard, and this gives him the opportunity to correct those wrongs that he did. He didn't do in the first fight. He can cut the ring off better. He can try to stop this guy this time around. So the guy's been on a nice win streak since he lost the boot. So I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, and you know the thing that's crazy, and it kind of goes to show how dominant Boots Ennis is. Like we're talking about him righting the wrong, and he won like 12 of. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like that kind of shows you how dominant Boots Ennis has been. And listen, like we respect all fighters at the end of the day. And Karen, you know, credit to him for surviving 12 rounds with Boots Ennis. Very few do it, but in the fashion in which he did it, it was a lot of, it was some track shoes on, tube socks, lot of running, in that fight. And we're gonna see if he can do anything different in this fight. But I think Boots, he has to make sure he don't leave his guard down and get caught with anything stupid. Even though Boots has been dominant, I think the last 2-3 fights he's been a little reckless trying to get his guy up out of there. And it adds to the entertainment value, but that's an exact situation where a guy gets caught and they get caught, they get caught crazy. Now, we also have a fight on Pro Box. On Pro Box TV, Chris Colbert is going to be fighting Omar Salcido. And listen, man, we've been talking about Pro Box TV for a while on this particular show. And big shout out to Pro Box TV. Pro Box TV is really, really, really putting on quality cards, quality fights, and we got to give credit to Pro Box TV. And this kind of rewinds me back to, um, I mean, I'm showing my age here, but Tuesday night fights. Tuesday night fights on USA back in the day, like you knew you were gonna get a quality fight, you was gonna get a quality card, it was gonna be action. And Pro Box TV is following along those same lines. You know what I'm saying? They just gave us Jared Hurd and Jason Rosario. You know what I mean? Um, I got my dog in here, boxing first vlog, man. Can I get a mic check? 1 2 1 2.
1 2 1 2. What's good with you?
Hey yo, listen. Let me tell y'all straight off the rip. I ain't seen him, right? But he gonna flash the new headphones like nobody was gonna notice. He gonna flash the new red joints. Was that from gambling winnings? Oh no, was that from that bet that I lost to you? You spent some of my money on some headphones, brother.
Man, I'm just trying to stay current. You understand me? You know what I mean? Stay with the popular.
Yeah. No doubt, no doubt. Bro, big shout out to Boxing First Vlog, man. Before we continue, please subscribe to Boxing First Vlog. Please subscribe to In This Corner podcast. Actually, Legends link is in the chat. So if y'all want to go ahead and go click that, I'm gonna have to get
And
Boxing First Vlogs.
real quick.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, real quick, everybody. I'll be back posting this week. I had a little schedule situation that I had worked on, but everything back right where I could be back posting my normal videos. So expect that back on the channel right coming up this week here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We was talking about Pro Box TV. Chris Colbert got a main event on Pro Box TV. Solid fight too. Solid fight, man. Pro Box they're trying to set that standard like Tuesday night fights did back in the day, man. When they come on, you're gonna get a quality main event. It may not be a superstar main event, but it's gonna be a quality main event, solid card, good action, man. I like what Pro Box TV is doing. Like what's your impressions on Pro Box TV and just what they trying to bring to the table right now?
I'm actually want to tap in more on their commentary side of the game. I'm
Okay.
actually appreciating their positions on a lot of the things going on in boxing. That's who I've really been tapping into as far as just kind of keeping where their stances are on current events. And I don't like per se the one guy, the Italian boy. I don't like him, but a lot of his takes they on point, and I gotta respect that. You understand what I'm talking about? So that's where I really gotta give them a lot of credit for being honest. You know what I mean? They don't really gloss over things. They kind of hit the points and add on a little bit. So I respect that. You know what I mean? It keeps me sharp on my game too.
Yeah, Pro Box. I mean, they've had solid cards. I mean, pretty much across the board. They just had one a couple weeks ago where the main event fell apart and the replacement came in and did some good work. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's I like what Pro Box is doing, man. But we've been holding off long enough. We are going to get into it. Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois, very, very exciting fight. Daniel Dubois gets the upset over Anthony Joshua, 5th round knockout. Ty Finney, did you expect the upset? Were you surprised? Talk to me.
Yeah, I was surprised a little bit, but I mean, I'm surprised and I'm not surprised. Like I said, we've seen Anthony Joshua in his position before. You know what I mean? We know he doesn't have the best chin. He went down against Ruiz. He went down against Kalisko. So I wasn't surprised. Dubois, he's a guy that has almost all knockouts in all of his fights. He's a big guy. He's 6'5", 200 plus pounds. So I wasn't like 100% surprised. You know what I mean? You got a guy that's standing in front of you almost the same height as you, and he's going to be throwing bombs for 12 rounds. And, like I said, we've seen Joshua in this position before, but now I'm not surprised. But one thing I will say is that, when Joshua went down in the first round, he looked like he was pretty much about to be out right there. And I don't think that he got his legs back 100% because, he fell in that fight multiple times. You know what I mean? I'm saying his chin isn't that great. He fell a lot of times. And then, in the fifth round, he started to kind of get his momentum back, and he just got caught again. Both guys threw a shot at the same time. Looked like Joshua was throwing the uppercut, and Dubois landed flush on the chin. Anthony Joshua's head hit the bottom rope, and you can tell he just wasn't getting up from that. So it was a 100% good stoppage. Credit to Daniel Dubois, man. That guy's on a mission right now.
Yeah, for sure, man. And for the people that did not see it for some reason, I'm gonna actually show it real quick on the screen. Let me see. Give me a second.
Fair use.
Matter of fact, you know what? That's why I'm glad I got vlog on here. Hold on, let me get my Fair Use Act banner down the bottom. Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
This video is for commentary, which is allowed under the Fair Use Act. Let me continue. That's why my dog keep me on point, man. It keeps me on point. Keeps me on point. Let me see. Let's get this together.
While Jeff working on that, I just wanted to say a great breakdown right there by T. Finney, man. That's why, the legend goes with that name, man. And his skills and his commentary on this boxing game is on point, bro. I tapped into the live a little bit. I was busy yesterday, but I was able to catch a few minutes with you and the homie, and y'all did a great job, bro. And salute to you, bro. Like what you just said right now was shit, man. You belong on the main screen, bro. That was a great breakdown of what happened with that action from yesterday.
Appreciate it, man.
Facts. Let me run this real quick. Y'all. Bruh, I don't know how many times we tell people on this show, do not throw an uppercut, not only from a long distance, but from across your body too. Stop it. Stop.
Hey, before you cook, man, the same thing. I like what you said. The same thing happened with Fundora and Brian Mendoza. Fundora tried to throw an uppercut, bam, he gets clipped and goes down. And that's kind of like the same thing that we just saw.
Bro, the thing that's crazy about that, yo, is not only did he try to throw the uppercut from a long distance, he threw it across his body. He threw the uppercut from the right side. Dubois was over here, and he was trying to connect it. He went across his body. I mean, that's criminal. Like that's criminal. Like that's up there with. It wasn't as bad as Buster Douglas and Evander Holyfield as far as the uppercut being so flagrant. It was up there though. Like it was definitely up there. Vlog, what you thinking?
Let me tap in on the ref and what they had going on. They did everything they could to keep this dude in that fight. Uh, the ref was, I mean, that was the worst job of refereeing I've seen, and I'd say at least a couple, 2-3 months here, bro. That was terrible. But I get it. That's the A-side fighter. You kind of doing a little extras to help him out. You
Right.
called knockdowns when it wasn't knockdowns, things, all of this, just a little bit of stuff to slow the fight up and help this dude get his legs back. Then kudos to him for trying to help the A side, bro. But it was a terrible refereeing job for sure. You know what I mean? That all around terrible, but good in the aspect that it was towards a fighter that obviously we know is the guy in the ring as far as being the A side B side situation. And he did what refs do in those situations when the money's over here and you trying to help the money get off the flow. You know what I mean?
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
You know. So I saw that. I definitely peeped that as far as what was going on in that ring with that referee. First
Hey,
of all,
bro.
he was too small. He was too small to be in there. You definitely, when you're dealing with some Goliaths like these two dudes, you gotta have somebody in there that has more of a presence to me, just in case it got out of hand, which it did. We had some headbutts. We had a lot of tying up, which AJ had to do. So I think you definitely should probably have a more masculine or more physically fit referee in situations like that. But he did what those refs paid to do in those situations. He just couldn't help the guy. You can't punch for the guy. You can't block the punches. But all the other stuff that a ref can do, he definitely did.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, man. Like it was crazy. I to be honest with you, if AJ wasn't the house fighter, you could make a claim he could have got stopped after that during that first round too. Cause them legs was on
And,
shake mode for sure.
yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. They did everything I mean, outside of a slow count, he definitely did everything he could have done in that position, bro. Like the knockdown where he ended up getting the knockdown anyway, he didn't have to take all that extra punishment if the ref would have called the knockdown when it happened, where his gloves touched the ropes, but he stood back up, covered up, he ended up eating some unnecessary uppercuts, which didn't seem to really hurt him, but it didn't help him either. So the ref was doing what the ref did. You know what I mean? He should have jumped in all actuality. If he didn't think it was a knockdown, but again, you have to be physical to be able to get in there to help the A side as a referee too. He didn't have the physicality that was needed too.
Yeah. Shane in the building, he said, yo, I'm jumping today. Definitely said, don't jump off without me. All right, I got you. We'll hold off till you get here, man. If I know Shane, right, and I haven't talked to Shane, Shane's gonna come in here and talk about that uppercut and how far AJ was trying to throw that uppercut. Like, I
Can I
mean, go ahead.
what can I say this? What
Mhm.
what the dude problem is, bro? He has no punch variety. He only has 3 punches. So the one punch that he felt like might be the punch that could change the fight for him, we saw he threw it at the wrong time. That's the punch he never sets up. When he has gotten it off in his career, it's just been the punch that's there for him. It's not like he sets it up. He can't set anything up. He has 3 punches: the jab, the straight right hand, and this uppercut that comes out of the blue moon when it works. And obviously it comes out of the blue moon and doesn't work. So
Hey, bro,
I
let's
bro, I
actually let's actually watch it again, bro. I'll slow it up a little bit, because
bro,
people,
he has never set that punch up when it worked for him. In his fight career, and we've been following this dude for a minute now, I've
right?
never seen him set the uppercut up. When he's landed it, it's just being thrown. He doesn't throw hooks. He has no overhand. His timing is terrible. Bro, his best punch was the jab, and he shouldn't have been using it as much as he was using it.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna share this joint again, man. We gonna run through this. Fair Use Act. Fair Use Act. So he got Dubois in trouble. He throws the right hand. Look how far back he throws the uppercut. That is crazy. Oh my god. It's crazy. Like, it's absolutely crazy that he threw that uppercut from that far and across his body, bro. Like, it's crazy. First of all, he threw the hook. He threw the hook before that. The hook was fine. The hook was fine. It kept him out of danger, and he got a power shot off. He turns right around and tries to throw an uppercut and just left the whole thing just open. And Dubois didn't even crank that counter shot up. He didn't even crank that thing up.
Yeah, it wasn't.
He actually missed the first one.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the first. He missed the first one, and AJ ran into the second one.
Yeah,
it was the worst kill shot I've seen in the heavyweight division in a long time. It kind of reminded me of the shot that,
Bro, I'm gonna show it one more time, but I want y'all to pay attention to the actual counter by Dubois. He didn't put no real emphasis into it. It was just AJ's face was so wide open. You feel what I'm saying?
He ran into it. He ran right into it.
He ran right into the shot. Ran right into the shot. Give me just a second. Let me pull this up again, fellas. Let me pull this up again. Fair Use Act. Fair Use Act. Right hand is fine. Another right hand's fine. Yo, he didn't even crack him that hard, bro. Hold on.
I told you. Yeah, bro.
Legend. Look at this real quick, bro. Look at this real quick. Right hand, another right hand. Look at the counter. He ain't put that much on it, bro. He didn't put that much on it, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It wasn't a big shot.
Hey, bro, the heavyweight division does not have a boogeyman. We have no monster in the heavyweight division. We have an outstanding boxer that is the heavyweight champion of the world. But even though he beat both these dudes, he ain't even a killer. Neither one of these dudes is a killer. They can kill, but they ain't killers. They not the dude that's the king of the mountain. Everybody either scared to see or rushing to go see because it's a bad type of fight. I don't know what Dubois got paid for that fight, but they should have gave him double for beating the brakes off of this dude like that. So, bro, and he was the champ. He fought like the goddamn contender. He was the damn champ.
Hey, listen, Vlog. You can make the claim that if you believe that shot from that he had on Usyk was a legal shot, we technically talking about heavyweight champion of the world making a title defense. You know what I'm saying?
But but honestly, but that's the problem. This is what happens when you the A side. That's where it can work for you. See how being the A side in situations like that can work for you? Being the A side with AJ, he had to help. It just didn't work for him. He never could recover. So or his recovery, he didn't do anything in the recovery. He recovered, but his offense wasn't there. And when he did get offensively, he got greedy. He should have just let that shot work for what it worked for, still in the rounds, getting back in the fight and letting the fight come to him. He went to go try to take the fight at the wrong time. His trainer, I don't know who that Andy Griffith ass dude is that trains him, because he looked like a young version of Andy Griffith, and he is terrible. He is terrible. His explanation shows me he don't know what he doing inside as far as tactician, as far as planning for the fight, defense, learning something new, bringing something new to the fight. I don't know who that dude is, and they say he re-signed with that dude. Oh my God, bro, that's terrible, bro. That is terrible. That was terrible. This is what happens when you go back home.
A legend. Where do you, if you had to point in that sequence, with AJ going for the kill and he ends up getting clipped, where do you feel like AJ kind of made this mistake at? Do you feel like he was rushing? Like how'd you feel about like that moment when he got caught?
Yeah, I think he was just rushing. You know what I mean? He clipped the ball, had him backing up, going back to the ropes, and I guess he was like, okay, I got my momentum back. And I think he just rushed it. And like you said, throwing that uppercut was just a huge mistake. Like he should have just threw some more hooks or popping with the jab. But yeah, throwing the uppercut was definitely his mistake.
Yeah,
Let me get back in real quick.
yes, sir.
Real quick. This
Yes.
go to me, that goes to the training. Because if they would have watched film, if they would have did some real homework on Dubois, they would have known don't jump on him too fast. Why? Because he's still slanging sledgehammers right back at us. We know we don't have the best whiskers. You got to be talking about this. You got to be putting this out in the air so that it becomes a fact on how you maneuvering in that ring. So when you got him hurt, let him eat, win that moment. Get that moment 2-3 more times as these rounds start developing. You slowly getting back in the fight. Like, bro, this dude, like, it was the worst training fighter scenario I had seen from quote unquote the A side in a while, bro. Like, usually the A side does a better job in losses than we saw right there.
Hey, bro, I'll say this. I don't think AJ ever got his legs back from the first round. I don't know how y'all feel about that.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever got his
that's
legs
fact.
back.
Yeah, not at all, man. Yeah, not at all. Cause he went down he didn't even go down by a punch. It looked like he was just kind of off balance and like he felt hard from that.
Yeah, and the thing was, it was just like in the moment, him going for the kill. I didn't have a problem with that because that was one of them fights. It was either kill or be killed. That's not making it to the cards. Your legs is not going to make it to the cards. He had to go for the kill. My issue was the shot that he chose to throw.
I disagree with you, Jeff. I disagree with you because in a situation where you're saying your legs are shot, his legs actually wasn't shot because he was able to box after being knocked down early in the fight, being able to stay on the outside, somewhat stick the jab, make the jab count. It kept Dubois from literally going for like the murder, the pin him in the corner, brawl him out, and KO him that way. AJ still had his legs. What the problem was, his mental, his corner, he didn't have the support to tell him, look, bro, box, tie up, box, tie up. We're going to get our moment. That wasn't preached.
I'm gonna tell you this though. You can go into survival mode and still not have your legs. So I don't disagree with what you're saying. I don't disagree. Actually, I don't disagree with it at all. I just think he went through everything you just said, and I still think his legs was shot. I would credit that to experience and being in that position before, but I still think his legs was gone, bro. I think they were gone.
So, all right. So, answer me this: telling me, so is he a top puncher or is he a bottom puncher? Does he punch from his hips, twist, or is he using his shoulders and that upper body strength? That's what to me that'll answer the question on what.
So AJ's power, for me, it comes from up top. So even if his legs is shot, he can still get torque on his shots. That's why I still think his legs were shot because he's so top heavy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He's so top. So everything.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So everything is like this. So like when he's turning on his shots, you know how a lot of power guys, they go on with their legs. Him is from the hips. His is from the hips up. So I think he did everything you said, but I think his legs was still wasn't right. So when he got Dubois in trouble in the fifth round, he was like, yo, this might be my only shot to get out of this fight with a dub. You know what I mean? And he just ran into, he literally ran into a shot. Literally ran into it.
Bro, crazy. He had been using the jab as well as he could up to that moment, right when he should have went right back to the jab.
I agree.
Right back to the jab.
I agree, bro. Big shout out to Brendan Smith, man. Brendan Smith in the building. He said, I believe Fury is better than AJ and Daniel Dubois now. I have to be honest with you, bro. If Fury was to fight Daniel Dubois right now, Dubois is probably winning that fight. He's probably winning that fight. But I'm going to tell you why he's probably winning that.
Can I be honest?
Go ahead.
No, can I be honest, though? Let me try. I think that's a 50-50. Why? Because Fury can still crack. Fury still has a little bit of crack left. And we know Dubois can be subject to being cracked. So I don't know if that's a cakewalk for either one. No, to me, no guy really has the real advantage.
I don't think it's a cakewalk. I don't think anything in the heavyweight division is a cakewalk.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't mean cakewalk. That was a bad term. I don't think I don't think either guy has a true advantage in that fight.
Yeah, I think right now Dubois is on a major hot streak right now. Nobody can deny that.
Oh, he running hot.
He's running through things right now. And go ahead.
Should he take a Joe Joyce rematch? Should he do? Is this the right time to do that?
Couple losses, so his stock is all the way down. He'll be moving backwards with that. He'll be moving backwards.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
When the last time Joe Joyce got a dub? He lost his last what?
I mean, but at this time, is it the right time to avenge? That's what I'm saying. On the run that you on, you usually get a cupcake. Is Joe Joyce that cupcake for him? Also doubling down, avenging a loss. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm not totally against that. I would only want to see that fight if he just can't get Fury, or he can't get Usyk, or he can't get an AJ rematch. Like, I would, if he was like out of options and it's like a title defense, I'm cool with that.
They said there's the rematch in the contract. That's the first thing Hearn spoke about.
Yeah.
But he said that we got to figure out what's up with AJ. Do we want to take the time, or does he want to, acknowledge the rematch within, I think it was 4 months or something like that?
Yeah.
4 to 6 months or something like that. So
them legs ain't look good, man. Like you could tell by how AJ was moving. This was prior to him getting knocked down in the first round. Like I was like, I don't know. Like he just, something just looked off. It was the legs, bro. Like something with them legs would look off. And once he got knocked down in the first round, I was like, them legs just looked shaky ever since. Brendan Smith.
Where was the answer me a question real quick. Where was the Usyk fights? Did he go somewhere across Europe for that fight, or was they all those fights?
He was in his backyard.
So bro. I don't know, bro. I think he struggles under them big lights, bro. He struggles under big lights, bro.
But he always under big lights, though. Something ain't look like the rigs, bro. Something. Go back and watch. Watch the first round,
bro. You know what happens with fighters that like in his position, he could have been doing the do. He could have still been active. You know what I mean, with the business like that, and automatically we know that takes your legs. And then he's a guy that doesn't have the greatest foundation anyway. So if he was busy, so quote unquote, during this time, that might have hurt him too. And we know the ladies love him, so hard to keep these cats off you like that. They they all on him, scratching him up. So he probably went ahead to knock a couple down. I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
He was having the legal freak offs, brother.
He wasn't on his Diddy. I know that. I doubt he had to. I doubt he had to be on his Diddy. But just saying, we know fighters that they slip off and they do that. That can affect them. You know what I'm saying? As far as their legs and stability and conditioning, bro. You ain't supposed to really be doing that. No time around training camp. Bro, that's the first thing that.
Bro, I'm gonna keep it real, man. Like I don't know what happened, but he just didn't. It's the legs, bro. That's probably in a heavyweight fight. That's probably the first thing that I'm looking at is how is the guy moving on his legs in the first round. That's instantly. He was
moving. That's my thing. I think the legs affect him when it comes to punch resistance. I don't think the legs affected him when it came to what he was physically doing offensively. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
he looks stiffer than usual. He always looks stiff, but like before the knockdown, he looks stiffer than usual. And it's just maybe it's just me because I pay attention to that stuff with certain fighters. AJ steps in the ring. The first place I'm looking is the legs and the movement. If he got crisp movement, I'm like, okay, he gonna be all right this fight. Soon as that fight started, I was like, yo, them legs ain't right, bro.
Now,
Them
now,
legs ain't
now,
right.
now, I get what you're saying because when he looked the best when it comes to that second Ruiz fight.
Yes,
That's
yes.
the Chris. That's what you talking about. I get now. I'm on you. We on the same block now. I'm definitely.
Yeah, he
I
ain't
get you
look
now.
crisp.
Definitely.
Yeah, when he first started, when that first round started, he didn't look crisp like that coming out the blocks. That second Andy Ruiz fight, he's crisp coming out the blocks. You know what I'm saying? But you know what else it could be, bro? And this goes back to what you said. He might have been coming in on kill mode. He might have been coming in on kill mode, and that might have been the reason why he ain't look crisp neither. So I don't know. I don't know. Scotty 70 said, "What's good, fellas? Big shout out to you, bro. Family in the building for show. DM3 Entertainment. What's going on, brother?" He said, "What's up, family? You know I'm an AJ fan. It's disappointing that he got knocked out, but that's what happens when you leave your face wide open. But I do believe it's the end of an era." To be honest with you, bro, because there's no like vlog said, there's no boogeyman in heavyweight. I don't think it's the end of an era. AJ still got a good 4 or 5 fights left where he gonna ski mask and get the bag. You know what I'm saying? But if you're talking about era in terms of AJ's not the top guy, yeah, that era's been over. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of him being in big fights, big money, a lot of people watching. I mean, they almost had 100,000 up in there. So I don't think his era's over, but just the era as being the top dog, that era's been over. Legend, as far as AJ, how many fights you think he have left? How long of a run you think he has?
Uh, Good question, man. Me, honestly, man, like with the way he got stopped, you know, just last night, and me, honestly, I just want to see him going there with Wilder at this point. They both coming off stoppage losses. They both got about 4 losses now. I would just like for him, man. I think the fans would definitely still tune in and watch that. I know he's going to get a big bag for that. So I just rather have him go in there, you know, fight Wilder and maybe call it quits. But like you said, man, almost 100,000 people in the building. I think he don't want to end his career with that kind of loss. So I think he'll give it a few more fights.
Yeah. Um,
I
Vlog,
will say
how
this
long?
too, man. I
Go
will
ahead,
say
bro.
this before you get into I will say, look at both of them been on a nice run since they lost to Usyk. But you
Yeah.
look at their last fights though. Dubai fought, you know, a nice opponent in Herkovich. AJ fought in Ghana, man. That's a fight he should have took maybe like at the end of his career. This guy is not a legit boxer, you know what I mean? He got him out there early. So I mean, he definitely shouldn't have took that, you know, against a Ghana. I'm standing, it was a big money fight, and he made a nice bag off of that. But still, at this point in his career, he don't need to fight no Ngannou, especially you know big of a name he is. That's something he should have did later on in his career, like an exhibition or something like that. And Ngannou don't prepare you for Dubois.
Agreed. Agreed. Brennan Smith, he said Fury will outbox Dubois. If Fury is disciplined, I would say so for sure. I agree with that. DM3, one thing I realized with a lot of these boxers today, the IQ is truly lower than what we think they have. Heavyweights of the past would either held or danced around to stay away from the power. Um, DM3, it really depends on, I would say, era, because we went through a heavyweight era where none of them held. It was just all out wars. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you're talking about, I guess you said heavyweights of the past. We had some heavyweights that was smart enough to hold and move around, but a lot of those heavyweights from back in the day, and I'm talking back in the day, I'm talking like Ray Mercer, Tommy Morrison, that era, them guys was getting hurt, they wasn't holding. They was trying to crank their own shots. That's why we had so many highlight reel knockouts back in the vlog, say what, 90s. We had a lot of highlight reel knockouts because guys wasn't holding while they were hurt. and things like that.
I
So
think,
DM3, I'm 50-50.
but no, hold on. I think DM3 may be talking about the Foremans and like that era of where they fought, but they actually showed skill through the fighting. You know what I mean? More or less not Foreman per se, but the Ali's, that era, the Holmes is them type of guys. You know what I mean? I think
Right.
that might be the era he could be, because I
So
thought those guys were very intelligent fighters.
yeah, DM3, clarify that. What era are you talking about? Get a little bit more specific about that. He said, I just thought about something. Does AJ have his infamous rematch clause? You know what? He
Yep, he
does.
does.
He
Yeah.
does. Here's the thing, though. This goes to show you how much of an A side AJ is, right? That was a fight for a vacant belt, and a guy had the option for a rematch clause for a vacant belt. You rarely ever see that. You rarely ever see that. Usually, a champion has the option to get a rematch clause, not a fight for a vacant belt. So, if you want to question how powerful AJ is as far as the A side, there you go. Mark the historian. He said, what's going on, good brother? What's going on with you?" He
Yeah, he
said,
tunes in a lot too. He tunes in a lot with last ones at the bar. So salute down.
"Oh, okay." He said, "Link, yeah, I'll drop it. I'll drop it." He said, "Salute to everybody in the panel." He said AJ got beat to death. Yeah, it was and that's a bad knockout too, because Dubois got them. He got them sledgehammers, like my man Vlog say. Them sledgehammers will have you thinking long term. You know what I'm saying? For sure. He said, "Nah, Holyfield and Bull were experts at clinch warfare." Um, I agree. But they used it more so for strategy versus them being in trouble in their clenching and holding. Like when Holyfield got in trouble, he was throwing them hooks. And if you need a flashback fight, one of the best heavyweight fights you're gonna find is matter of fact, it wasn't even heavyweight, it was cruiserweight. It was Holyfield and Burt Cooper. That was one of the best big boy fights you gonna find. If I had to introduce somebody to like boxing to try to get them to become a fan, I would probably show them Holyfield and Burt Cooper. Like they got busy. You know what I mean? That's a good point though. That's a good point. Scotty 70, hard to dance around when you're 250.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that's why we got to give credit to Tyson Fury, man. We ain't seen a guy, that
That
tall,
big.
that
Yeah.
big, with that kind of footwork, man. So even though he still goes down, but you got to give credit to Fury for being, defensively responsible, especially with his legs, man. His movement's crazy good for a guy that big, man.
But I agree. I agree. Mark, he said the belt wasn't vacant. Neither one of them had it.
What's the name had it? That the fight where Herkovich was for the IBF title.
So Dubois had it. That makes my point even more valid. How the opponent get a rematch clause?
You are correct when you said this dude had the power in the negotiation situation. You know
And
what I
this is
mean?
the
Like
perfect.
Dubois, and let's be honest, Dubois had been on the B-side run since the Joyce fight. Even in the
Hey,
Herkovich fight, he was the B-side.
Shane.
What's up?
So Dubois was the champion going into the fight, right?
Yeah, champ.
So the fact that AJ got a rematch clause and he was the opponent is crazy.
Bro, I saw that. I said that yesterday.
That's crazy. I thought it was vacant. That's my fault.
No, he won the interim championship against Hergovich because
And then they
Hergovich was
elevated it.
mandatory, and they just elevated him when
Got you.
he
Okay.
got stripped. But you're right, bro. The boy,
Hey, Shane. Hey, listen, fellas, for the people that's watching, yo, like I said, I haven't talked to Shane about the AJ fight. This is how much Shane and I are in tune, because I know he's gonna give me the answer that I want. Shane, why did AJ get knocked out in that sequence?
well, I mean, technically, I think the most basic boxing fan can break it down and tell you the technical mistakes obviously one of the obvious mistakes is throwing a lead uppercut from.
I told you he don't. Yo, Shane don't let me down, bro.
But
Shane don't let me
but
down.
I feel like the bigger problem, and we all knew if the Dubois gonna win this fight, he's gonna try and come out early and hit AJ with something early to get his respect. We all knew that. The Dubois fights like that against everyone. He comes out, balls to the wall, foot to the pedal to the metal. That's Dubois' style. I think everyone knew that, other than AJ. You like AJ looked so shocked when he saw Dubois so aggressive. And I'm thinking, did you expect this guy to come out fighting like Sugar Ray Leonard or Muhammad Ali or something? Like, what did you expect? Do you expect this guy to
Right.
be Ali shuffling? He's gonna come out and fight aggressive. I said before the fight, um, Daniel Dubois is intellectually challenged. And I still think he is intellectually challenged. But I feel like it's to his benefit in a sense that when things go tough or it's hard, he doesn't overthink it. It's very mechanical for him. So
Mm-hmm.
even when AJ is in fights, you can almost tell he's trying to think his way through a
Mm-hmm.
situation. It's
Yeah.
not mechanical for AJ.
Right.
Whereas when you look at how he gets dropped, anybody there would look at it and think, okay, you've just hit him with a good shot. This is the one opportunity that you've had in the fight so far. You've caught him with a good shot. You ain't got your legs back. Use this time to even the playing field out a bit. For me, the last thing I'm going to do if I'm AJ is go
Didn't I
all
say
out.
that? Hold on. Real quick, Shane. I said the same thing, bro. Said the
No
same thing.
facts, but blunt. This is the thing what people don't look at. AJ fought that fight like how underdog fights. And he fought that fight like an underdog. When an underdog gets a good moment, they just try and seize on it straight away. It's like they almost surprised. He almost surprised himself that he hurt Dubois. So when he hurt him, he thought, "Oh my gosh, this is my one and only opportunity. Let me go for it." Whereas I feel like a more seasoned veteran would have just paced himself a bit better. But again, it comes down to lack of prep. I literally believe AJ went into that fight with no game plan. Because for you to not know what Dubois is going to do, everybody knows Dubois is going to fight like that. Everyone. And he literally thought it was the worst AJ performance I've ever seen. Ever. Ever. Worse than the Ruiz fight. Worse than both Usyk fights. It's the worst performance I've ever seen from AJ. Ever. He never got anything right in the fight. Ever. He never got anything. There wasn't one thing he got right in that fight.
Yeah, it's crazy, but again, I'm gonna actually show the clip where he got knocked out. So give me just a second.
What the?
You know why it's stupid, Jeff? Yeah, if you go back, yeah, he gets caught with a right hand. He gets caught with a right hand before he gets knocked out. He tries to
Correct.
throw the big right. Look, watch here, watch here, watch here. He gets caught
Right.
with that counter right. He still comes in and does the same thing. He does
Yeah.
the same thing again. He gets caught with a counter right hand before, and he does the exact same thing again.
Hey,
Doesn't
bro,
take his head off the line and
you
gets caught
wanna
again.
hey, bro, you wanna know what it looked like, bro? Remember when Leo Santa Cruz threw the same shot 3 times against
Yeah,
Tank? It
facts,
looked something like that.
facts.
Like that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I said that's up there with the Buster Douglas Holyfield joint. That wild ass lead
But
up.
you, but you know what? Yeah, I think that's worse. I think what happened there was worse
He threw it across
because
the body too.
the reason why I say it's worse, yeah, is because even though Buster Douglas made a mistake, Buster Douglas was backing up. He's trying to get this person off him. When you watch the Buster Douglas and Evander Holyfield exchange, but Evander Holyfield's coming forward. Dubois is backing up. The hardest punch to throw, even the most coordinated Roy Jones Jr. style coordination, foot speed and hand speed. One of the hardest punches to throw is a lead uppercut with your backhand when your opponent's going backwards. If
So
your opponent's going backwards, an uppercut is thrown when someone's coming towards you, not
so
when your opponent's going in reverse.
so let me add to that too. So when AJ threw that uppercut, which makes the uppercut so egregious, Dubois is on his left shoulder, which means he's on the opposite side of the right uppercut. So he tried to bring the uppercut from here all the way over here and didn't even really turn. That's what made it so crazy. Like,
And
that's what made it so crazy.
the distance, bro, you can't throw you, bro. He couldn't establish a jab. Like if you look, all the jabs that he threw in lead up to that knockout, he didn't land. So if you can't establish a jab, the audacity to think you're gonna to land an uppercut it is beyond me. If you can't land a jab, where on earth do you think you're gonna land the uppercut? Please let me know. Where on earth are you gonna land the uppercut? Look, his every jab falls short. Look, that falls short. Look, he tries to throw the right hand again. It's falling short. So you think, you know what? Let me go back with an uppercut. What? It doesn't make any sense. You can't land your straight right. So why do you think you're going to be able to land an uppercut? It doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy. And the thing is, I can see if Dubois like pivoted to his right and got it off. He didn't even pivot, bro. He didn't.
But I think he was done before that, bro. I think he was done before that.
That's what I said. I said I don't think he was right.
I think he was
right.
done from the first round. I said
that's what I said.
I said after the first round, I changed my prediction, bro. After the first round, I changed my prediction.
But hey, Shane, this is something that Vlog and I said. Like AJ didn't look crisp coming out in the first round before he even got caught with the shot.
No, but again, I feel like, and I said this, and I just said it before. He didn't look crisp because of prep. Dubois is always gonna start fast. So unless you're gonna touch him with something early, you have to be over cautious. You have to be over cautious. AJ almost looked cold and relaxed. Dubois looked over aggressive and over eager. And I feel like you got to do something to almost match that energy or pacify that energy. And he done the opposite. He done something to encourage that energy. When someone is eager and aggressive, the last thing you want to do is give up ground easily. This guy his first steps are going back. He gave Dubois the center of the ring straight away. You can't give someone that initiative straight away. He done the same thing against Usyk. If someone's coming out aggressive, you gotta be cautious, but you can't give up real estate. Boxing is like a chessboard, or it's like look at it like territory. The center of the ring is the safest space. If you're willing to give up that territory already, then you might as well be willing to give up the fight. Because for me, it's a bit similar to when Devin Haney fought Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia comes out fast and he gets caught with a good shot. Devin Haney, after that, then started to fight for center ring. The moment you start to fight, you can be defensively sound and still fight for center ring. In actual fact, that's how you stay defensively sound. You can't give up ground. Like, this is what people think. Yeah. People think that by going in reverse, all of a sudden means you're defensively sound. No, it's actually worse. You're giving the encouragement to the opponent that he can just walk forward without no respect. You got to make him earn the right to step forward. And AJ did not do that. That's boxing 101. If you're fighting an aggressive fighter, you got to make them earn the right to step forward. And Jeff says it all the time. You got to make people pay an admission fee early at the front door. You can't just give up ground. You can't just say, here's the front door, walk in. You can't do that. And he let him do that so early.
Right. Facts, bro. DM3 said, Vlog said it exactly the way I was thinking. Okay, that was from a conversation from earlier. Mark, he said, Holyfield versus Cooper, third round of the same 1,000 years ago. Holyfield was one of them gladiators. Yeah. Gladiators fighting lions and bears. Yeah, that was a sick ass fight, bro. That was a sick fight. Tommy Dokes in the building. Big shout out to you, bro. He said Joseph Parker versus Dubois, Wilder versus AJ. Wilder versus AJ is strictly be a money grab.
Wilder versus AJ is pretty much, for me, the only fight I want to see AJ or Wilder in right now.
Yeah,
because I think they're so done. They're both done.
Yeah.
That's what I said, man. That era for them two is over, man. But I think the best fight going forward for them two is, Wilder and AJ. They need each other right now.
They need each other right now at this point. Because I
Did you
think
guys see? Continue, Jeff. Continue.
if he fights Dubois again, I think it ends the same, bro. I think it ends the same. What you gonna say, Shane?
Now I was gonna say, did you guys see the back and forth between Eddie Hearn and Devin Haney?
Yeah, the thing that's crazy, bro. Like Eddie Hearn, I love Eddie Hearn so much as a promoter because he got his hands in pretty much everything. Like it's crazy. Like they going back and forth about tickets. Like like you know what I'm saying? They
I'll be
going back
honest
and forth
though.
about tickets.
I'll be honest though. I'm a big Devin Haney fan. Innit? I like Devin, but I do feel that Devin Haney wants matchroom treatment without signing to matchroom.
Yeah,
Forget the um ticket situation. But if you look at the situation, even with Ryan Garcia and the mistakes that he made in the build up to that fight, and if you watch the Andre Ward interview, and he was like, "Well, Eddie didn't say that at the time, or Eddie didn't suggest that at the time." I'm like, "Bro, you didn't want to do the deal with Eddie. If
right.
one thing Eddie would have done if he thought Ryan was, he would have had the same day weigh-in. Jeff, do you remember when Kovalev had to weigh in when he arrived at the arena against Canelo?
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Hearn would have had, he said, if we want that fight to go on, he would have had Ryan Garcia weighing in on the night of the fight, on the exact night of that fight. There's certain things that you can't want independence, but at the same time want promotional assistance. You know what I'm saying? You can't.
Shane, you know the thing that's crazy? That's why you gotta have a guy like Eddie Hearn in your camp. Cause I'm like, he has his dad and everybody else. Nobody was thinking about that because their head is in the clouds. They like, we
Right.
done fought this dude 5-6 times. Like, we don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? And Eddie Hearn has made some questionable calls during the years. We've been trying to get employed by Eddie Hearn for a while to save him from some of his bad mistakes, but
Facts.
some of those he would have got in front of, like for sure.
Of course, like this is the thing, because he's made those mistakes is why he don't make them anymore. You know what I'm
Fact,
saying? And even a situation where he's looking at, like, he was angry with Eddie Hearn for not bidding more for the Liam Paro fight, when the purse bid. I was like, well, of course he's gonna, of course, because you're not his fighter. You
right.
can't say that you're independent and you work on a fight by fight basis and not do any long term. And I love the fact that he's independent. I want Devin
Right.
Haney to be independent. I don't want him to sign to anyone else. But if you're good, Jeff, I can't say to you, bro, I'm independent. I'm not tied to G5 Jeff TV. But then if G5 Jeff TV tomorrow gets picked up, I'm saying, you know what? I deserve a plate at the table. Of course not. I can't detach myself and then still ask for you to help me. That's
Yeah.
not how it works.
And you know what? Another thing with that is this is like a key lesson. Even independence comes at a price.
Facts.
It's a price on everything. Like, you know what I mean? And that's something that Devin Haney and them gotta understand. They gotta understand. Tommy Doak said Dubois shouldn't be out jabbing AJ. Ben Davison had a terrible night. I thought AJ just had a terrible night all the way around, man.
Facts.
I know Vlog said it earlier about just the coaching was terrible. I thought the coaching was bad. I thought his legs looked bad. I just think he
But
came in like, I know Dubois. I ain't got to do much. I'm knocking him smooth out.
Ben
And
Davis isn't a crisis coach, and it's what people don't understand. He is not a crisis coach. He's a coach that in the gym he's gonna train you. He's gonna build your confidence. But you have certain coaches who are crisis coaches. Like, the most obvious is someone like a Teddy Atlas. He's a crisis coach. He's
right.
going to slow the entire minute that you have. He's going to slow it down where it feels like you're in the corner for 5 minutes. He's going to
Right.
slow it all the way down, and he's going to make you feel like he's got everything under control. Brother Nassim Richardson's another one. When
Yeah.
they're in the corner, they're crisis coaches. When things go wrong, they're going to just take control. Ben Davison isn't that. We know that because when he was working with Tyson Fury and Tyson Fury got dropped by by Wilder. If you listen to the in-corner instructions, you can tell when the crisis came in, it was more Eddie, Freddie Roach and Ricky Hatton speaking, not Ben
Right.
Davison. And
Yeah.
that's because certain coaches are good at certain things. And in-corner instructions is maybe good for Ben Davison when it's going well, but he's not a crisis coach. So
Right.
after the first knockdown, you need someone to tell AJ, bro, you're in a fight right now. This is a fight. This is not the time to be banging your chest, sticking your tongue out. This is a fight. Like, let's pick this up. You don't want no one massaging your ego, and that's what Ben Davison didn't do.
Yeah.
Hey, I would throw John Scully in there too as a crisis coach.
When do you say
John Scully?
John Scully's a great crisis coach?
Yeah,
When you say
because he said, you know, when B Hop fought Chad Dawson, he had a real bad cut. Chad Dawson, he said he didn't even mention anything about the cut, and he acted like it wasn't even there. So he said you can't just tell your fighter, oh, that cut is bad. Like he's gonna get discouraged from that.
facts.
What
Bro,
you
you
got,
saying
bro?
that you're on mute.
You on mute, bro? I don't have you on mute.
Bro, I can't hear you, bro.
Can't hear you.
He might got come out and come back in or something.
Come out and come back in, bro. Because it looked like it's set up different.
I mean, there's a lot of right now, there's a lot of crisis coaches. I think there's more crisis coaches than there are actual coaches who are willing to go into the gym and train you. Like,
I agree. I agree, bro. Pennant, big shout out to Pennant, said Daniel Dubois versus Martin Bacoli would be a war. Yeah, it would.
I think Bacoli would stop Duardo.
I think he would too.
He's a bit too. He's got the timing. He's got great timing, and Dubois is too aggressive. Which is what the way Martin Bacoli was able to dismantle Jared Anderson is the way I expected AJ to deal with Dubois.
You know what makes Bacoli so good, yo? The most dangerous heavyweight you can find is a person that got really great timing and short shots.
Facts.
That is very hard to deal with a guy like that, man. It's very hard.
He's so calm as well. Like he doesn't really.
Yeah, and he's calm. Yeah, even when Jared Anderson was getting off, he never looked bothered.
In fact,
you know what I mean? Scotty 70 said AJ never had a fantastic chin to start with.
I think.
Yeah, go ahead, Shane.
I was gonna say, I think it's more his powers of recovery. I think that's what I think he never recovered from the first punch more than anything. But Blunt, what were you gonna say?
I done damn forgot. This technical difficulties be getting on my nerves.
Tommy Duke said in 2020 people were calling Dubois a quitter after Joyce lost, and now in 2024 he's a heavyweight champ. Since December 2023, Dubois beat Herkovich, Miller, and AJ. Listen, man, like a lot of fighters can turn the corner. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and what was said in 2020 was facts.
Facts.
Dubois just turned the corner. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, facts can be, facts about a person can be temporary.
I think what we're seeing of Dubois is a person who just has so much trust in his overall ability. Like when he got dropped by Usyk, he's thinking his way. Should I get up? Is there a way of me to win? He's not knocked out. He could have still continued, but he didn't trust himself that when he got up, he would be able to defend himself and be able to win. He has so much more trust in his ability now, and I feel like that Gerald Miller fight really baptized him. You know, sometimes you can do something so, like in your head, you can climb such a high mountain that when you get over the other side, you think anything is doable.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Question. I got a question for you, Shane. Right now, if he doesn't get the big fight, Fury, something like that, maybe a rematch with Usyk for unified undisputed situation, do you think he could take a Joe Joyce fight right now, avenge that loss?
Joe Dress is coming off a Derek Chisora loss, so I mean,
I'm asking you over there. Would that be a good move based on for his career, for his own moxie, for his own? You know what I mean?
I don't see that happening because I think what Frank Warren's looking to do right now is Dubois is almost like his insurance package, in a sense that if Fury loses to Usyk, he wants someone right in line to go again and get that Saudi money again. Because even though he's already lost to Usyk, there's still controversy around that, which you can resell.
Yeah.
You can resell. He just beat AJ. He just beat Hergovich. He just beat Miller. He's a better fighter. Usyk's coming off a Fury win. That's gonna sell. And for me,
and look, and he knocked AJ out. Usyk couldn't do it in 2 fights.
exactly. And
So,
people are gonna say, well, you know what? He knocked Usyk out because he knocked him down, and that wasn't a low. People are gonna say that. So people are gonna want to buy into Dubois now. And I promise you this now.
That's Frank what I was. My second question, real quick. Do you think that 100,000 that was in that building, is that going his way now? What percentage of that will go his way for him to start being the A side?
Well, here's the thing. It's difficult for Dubois because it's always going to be about who he fights. He wasn't marketed in the way that AJ was. AJ could fight anyone and sell out because he was marketed a much better way. Eddie Hearn is a much better promoter in the sense that he's going to get you the marketing deals, build you a right brand. Whereas Frank is a boxing guy. He knows the sport. He's going to position you in the right way to get you the right fights. So for me, Frank's looking at it like, well, I can throw this guy in there with a Usyk and make money there. I wish Fury beats Usyk because then that's an all in-house unification for me where I'm eating the pie off both ends, which that's what he's definitely looking to do. So if I'm Frank and if I'm Frank Warren, to answer your first question, I'm just throwing Dubois on the bench, let him enjoy that fight, and at least until the Fury and Usyk fight has been resolved. Now, in regards to the second part of whether he's going to be an A side or B side, I think that there's still a long way to go because people haven't bought into Dubois, and I still don't think people's bought into Dubois. I think what you're now seeing is people have given up on AJ, and that's what you're seeing.
Good point.
It's not necessarily people saying, "Oh, Dubois is the next best thing." People are now saying AJ's finished.
Good point. Good question. Great answer. Tommy
It's
Doak,
me, baby.
If not for Tommy Doak said, if not for a controversial low blow versus Usyk, we'd be calling Dubois the baddest man on the planet. I don't know about the baddest man on the planet.
Man on the planet, yeah.
But
he definitely be a champion.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to give. I mean, I even have to do the same thing. I need to stop sleeping on Dubois for all his technical deficiencies. The guy's a game fighter. He's a game fighter. He's got a lot of self-confidence.
Who is the monster at heavyweight division right now? Who's the boogeyman?
It's no boogeyman. You said that earlier.
Usyk's the best fighter in the division.
He's the best fighter. When I think boogeyman, like the boogeyman,
I'm thinking all that.
Your boots and shit.
I'm a lean. My personal pick for my question would be Big Bang. I just right now I think he's the that banger, that guy that's really coming to end the fight, and he could probably do that against anybody right now. Only thing against him is time. Time is shit. Apparently, undefeated. Like Mayweather.
Apparently, Zhang's fighting Chisora next, which I actually wouldn't mind seeing.
That is a terrible fight. I think this man deserves title fights at this time. He should be.
But the title's tied up.
It's tied up though.
The titles are tied up. So what's he
gonna
do?
I'm just saying, like, I get it as a stay busy fight. Now, I agree with you. As a stay busy fight.
If you look at the financial options that are there for him, Chisora is probably the best financial option that's there for him. Chisora is still.
What about Parker? You think Parker will be a bigger fight than Chisora?
Selling like Chisora. Chisora just come off a Joyce win. Like, I know for you guys it's different because you're not over here, so it's not significant for you in the United States, but in the
No,
UK, bro,
it is, bro. That's why I'm asking these questions. It's significant. I wouldn't ask these questions.
no, you're right, you're right, you're right.
You
So
know
then
what I'm saying? Like,
that win over Chisora, the over Joyce that Chisora had, because of how good the fight was and how good he fought in the fight, people love Derek Chisora. So for me, if I'm Dubois, I'm either fighting Chisora or I'm sitting on the bench. Because if I knock out Chisora, even though it's not a significant win in terms of legacy, you get the fans on your side, and that's what you want.
I'm not gonna lie. That is a very dangerous fight for a guy that's not defensively sound. Dubois is not very defensively sound. He's there to be hit.
Facts. But
Yesterday proves it.
Zhang.
Yeah.
If he fought Zhang,
No, you said Zhang. You said Dubois. You talking about Zhang earlier, bro.
But it's the same thing for the Zhang. If Dubois fought Zhang, it's dangerous as well. Dubois might get knocked out by Zhang. Bro.
Right.
No, I was saying that the Chisora fight is dangerous for Dubois because he's not very defensively sound.
But so is the Zhang fight dangerous for Dubois.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No doubt. But that's why the question was, who's the monster? Like, who's the guy? Would a win over Chisora make Daniel Dubois the monster at the heavyweight division? A knockout victory? Like that's
heavyweight don't handle monsters right now. I think you said it right earlier. Vlog. Like the heavyweight division don't handle boogeyman. It's just a bunch of guys that can get knocked off on any given night. It's a bunch of guys that get knocked off.
So all right, right now then, answer me a question. Answer now. I have a rebuttal question since you don't think my pick would be that guy. Who right now can beat Zhang? Like KO Zhang. Knock him smooth up out his boots.
Bacoli.
I think you guys aren't going to agree with this, but I think Bacoli, Cabello can beat Zhang.
That's a good pick too.
I think Dubois got a chance against Zhang as well, but
all right. Do you think Zhang is better offensively than what's the name is right now? Than Anderson was?
I think it's different.
More punch resistance. I think he has more punch resistance. Because having the shorter arms, he gonna eat some leather to get in there.
No. The thing is, the reason why I said Cabello, and I would actually say Cabello more than Bacoli, is because the blueprint to beat Zhang is obvious. Just take it to the second half of the fight. Bacoli power carries late. Power will carry all the way through the fight. Whereas Zhang, when he gets past round 6, he just stops throwing punches. He literally just stops throwing punches. It's not even that he still carries power. He just stops throwing punches. And I feel like someone like a Bacoli, if he does get into the second half of the fight, he might just stop Zhang just off the basis of fatigue. Not even. Who was it? Was it the Michael Coffey fight that Zhang had to get rushed to hospital for cardiac problems? Was it Michael Coffey?
Yeah.
That was when he was coming into what it is to be a heavyweight too. So conditioning, things like that.
Bro, that was when he was younger, bro. He's older now, bro. He's older.
He's like older.
But that all that means is he's more seasoned. You know what I'm talking about? He's more seasoned. It's a well put together dish now. That's
the word you're gonna go with, vlog. Season. herbs and seasoning. Yo, let me run through these comments real quick, brother. I got a feedback. Who was that?
I'm a
speak, Jeff.
Check.
Nice.
Dylan said, "Did you see this coming?" I was predicting an upset. I just ain't drop a video on it, but
you predicted the war to win.
I thought he was gonna win by knockout.
Bro, you know why I'm so pissed, bro? You know my betting slip yesterday.
It had AJ winning.
I'll tell you the betting slip, bro, and it's so annoying because there was no cash out on it. I had Kakachi winning by points, I had Boatsi winning on points, and I had AJ to drop Dubois in the first 6 rounds, just once in the first 6 rounds.
Oh wow, that's
Kakashi
crazy.
won on points, Boatsi won on points. And bro, you know why I'm so pissed? Because those odds were the best odds. So if I had those on by themselves,
Yeah.
40 pounds or $40, whatever the currency would have got me 695.
Ooh, damn. That's how the game go, man. That's how the game go. Dylan said AJ is clueless in the ring. He's been boxing for years and years and doesn't have a brain of his own. When he gets hit, he looks like a lost puppy with a look on his face, thinking,
Yeah, he
"What
does.
do I do?"
His recovery powers of recovery is probably one of the worst I've ever seen in history.
Yeah,
It goes up there with some of the I'm struggling to think of someone who has worse powers of recovery than AJ. I'm
all
struggling
of
to think of
his
someone.
all of his shots now when he gets hurt is almost like it's an equilibrium shot, even if it's not an equilibrium shot.
And a fact. And Jeff, you want to know something so crazy? You
Mhm.
know, certain fighters you hit and hurt, and they're still dangerous when they're hurt. Like even Dubois. Dubois was hurt, and he still managed to land that punch.
Right.
AJ isn't dangerous when he's hurt. Look at the round from round 1 to round 3. He is literally done. He's done. He's done, and he has no punch mechanics to say, you know what, this guy can potentially land a big shot injured, not or tired or damaged or hurt, or he literally was just trying to tie up, hold, grab. This guy's got no powers of recovery.
Now,
I don't.
can I add to that? Now that he physically smart enough or muscle memory enough to do the tie up. This is where your coaching kicks in and tell him, okay, slow down. Let's work through this. Let's regather ourselves. Keep doing what we doing. Stick the jab. Move when you can. And get close. Tie up. We got none of that.
He might have said that.
Who you think the trainer said that?
He might have. He might have. I don't know. The AJ was so gone.
I mean, I still blame whatever his name is, Crocodile Dundee. I still blame him.
Hey, vlog, what you changed with your setup because it got a feedback? Like you was cool for like 15 minutes.
I told bro, I've been having technical difficulties all morning. I might have to update and refresh some of these devices I got. But this a new phone, so no, I'm about to slide out anyway, bro. I got some shit to do, but
I'm gonna end in the
yeah, hit me up.
All right, bro.
I'm done. Salute. All right.
That's boxing first vlog. I'm gonna run through these comments real quick so we can get up out of here. Dylan saying if you're getting pieced up, you get your hands up and move. It's common sense, and you don't move back in straight lines with your hands down. Simple boxing fundamentals that AJ just lacks.
But the thing is, bro, Dylan, Dylan, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Your AJ knows this. See, this I keep hearing people say basic boxing fundamentals. AJ is a former Olympic gold medalist, 2-time unified champion. AJ knows this. This is basic. We're not what you're speaking isn't rocket science. He
Correct.
knows this. There's a cognitive problem with AJ when it comes to execution under pressure. This isn't down to lack of acknowledgement. If he didn't know, then I would understand. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, you can say, you know what? If he knew, then he would do better. No, bro, he knows this. There is a cognitive problem when it comes to execution. That's the difference, bro. But go on, continue the comments, bro.
No, I agree, bro. I agree. Dylan, if he hasn't got it in 15 years, he's never gonna get it. Let me answer that. Here's the thing. It's like what Shane said. Like AJ is fully aware, right? Like if you sit down with him and ask him a question, he'll tell you everything that he needs to do. It's what fighters do when they're in that moment. So this is part of AJ's flaws. In that moment, he needs that crisis trainer to get him through. I don't know if he's ever had a crisis trainer when he's been in a crisis. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Never.
think he's had one. I don't think he's had one. Freak athlete, but not a boxing brain. But see, I disagree. I think he has a boxing brain. I just think his flaws at that moment, he can't deliver.
It's isolated in that moment, because the reason how we know he has a boxing brain, because this is a guy who looked at the Andy Ruiz fight and said, I need to fight this way, and he fought that way. When you're saying he going back with his chin in the air, that was the same chin that Klitschko floored. That was the same chin that Povetkin buzzed and had his nose bust. It's the same chin that Dylan White cracked. So he knows this. It is not it's not from a place of he doesn't know. He knows. He just doesn't execute in that isolated moment. And for me, that comes from young. And this is why I always say, when the way they train fighters in the United Kingdom and the way they train them in the United States, bro, Jeff will tell you, like, bro, from 7, 8, you go to gyms in Philly, for example. I remember in the gym in Philly, but you have 8 and 7-year-olds learning how to defend themselves when they're hurt and they're tired and all that. Bro, these are things that you learn when you're a child. That's the most important thing, because
Hey Shane, you'll like this one. You remember the joint from Padman back in the day?
yeah,
Have them spin around, spin
yeah,
around, spin
yeah,
around, spin around, and then after you get done spinning, you gotta try to protect yourself while he's trying to simulate you being hurt, you not having your legs, you being a
fact.
little dizzy. Like those are kind of the trainings that you're gonna get here versus out there.
Exactly,
But
exactly. I've been going to gyms my whole life in box. I've never heard that simulation other than when Padman told us.
yeah, yeah, I've never heard of that. Yeah, big shout out to Padman too for that show for sure. Line AJ has been done since Usyk. Any good fighters, he fights. He can throw big punches back at him. He crumbles. And so here, Line. So here's another thing, bro. He made a tactical adjustment in the second Usyk fight. He had more success in the second Usyk fight than the first one. So we're not disagreeing with what you're saying. What we're saying is you can't get as far as AJ has without having a boxing IQ. He has it, but he's been hit with so many shots and he's been in so many crisis moments. I think his knowledge versus what's actually happening a lot of times
That's literally it. That's what's that because at that point, bro, Jeff, if you asked Floyd, does he think about backing out the back door with his hands up? He doesn't think about it. It's just natural. These
Right.
like if you ask Boots when he's in the pocket, or Cool Boy Steph, or Kevin Farmer, or someone who's naturally comfortable, or Pernell Whitaker, do they think about these things before they do it? No, they don't. It's mechanical. It's something that they automatically do. So
Right.
him thinking about it or knowing it is irrelevant. It's irrelevant whether he knows whether to do it or not. It's whether, as Jeff said, can you actually do it when you're in that isolated moment? And that's the issue that he has.
Right. That's the issue. That's the issue. Tommy Dope said AJ beating Franklin, Helenas, Francis, Otto Wallen, while Dubois is fighting live bodies like Usyk and Herkovich. So Tommy, the one thing I could say is when AJ was going on that run, AJ was in recovery mode. He was trying to get his confidence back.
Right.
So that's why he was getting those fights. Frank Warren owns Eddie Hearn.
Right now,
right now, yeah. Right now, yeah, for sure. Fabian, what's going on? Said Joshua wasn't into this. No jab, no movement. Always happens in overmatch, but decent opponents in big events. Dubois got touched up too. It was a fight. I mean, it was a fight. It was a fight. But Shane explained it best. When you know a guy is a front runner and he's coming out front running, you have to do something to stop him. You got to draw a line somewhere. AJ never drew that line.
Watch the first minute of that fight. Watch the first minute of that fight, and there's not one. And I've watched the fight back because I had to edit videos. So I've been watching the fight back. Like I've had to edit videos. Bro, there is not one thing AJ done in the first minute to draw that line. And all of a sudden, if I'm Dubois, and this guy's just giving up real estate, I'm gonna take it. I don't have to be a genius. If AJ fights a 5-year-old, and if he just gives up ground, next time any one of you go in a ring, just give up ground and see what happens. See how much confidence that gives to your opponent. Much less a person who's a professional. Bro, he just gave up ground, and you don't do that in boxing. That's just you just don't do it. You gotta make people earn the right to walk forward. You have to earn the right to walk forward in boxing. You can't
Yeah,
just give up ground.
facts. Joshua, hold on. Ben Israel, big, what's going on? He said in this corner, Shalom King, AJ versus Dubois was a great fight. Real good fight. Real good fight. Brennan Smith, Fury, Wilder, 4.
I know, Frankie.
I'm cool on that. Fabian said touched up. There's Usyk and Fury and a step down to all the rest. I mean, you can make that claim in a sense. Heavyweight's kind of weird right now, man. It's kind of weird. I would say it's Usyk, and then it's everybody.
Yeah, literally from when Usyk's, because Usyk's done what he's done, he's almost lost my interest in the division.
Yeah. Fabian said Wilder Dubois would be fun. You are a sick individual for wanting to see that, bro. Sick. Fabian, AJ is rich and healthy and so much to give. He should lead the game now. We be deprived.
I agree.
Yeah, get out. I agree, man.
I think a night like tomorrow, not tomorrow, sorry, a night like yesterday can potentially ruin your legacy. But if you have another night like yesterday, your legacy is completely ruined. What you don't want to be doing is getting knocked out again, and then you have to retire from the sport because, and the last memory that people have of you is you getting knocked out. Obviously, that's gonna happen in this case. But bro, I can't lie. Like for me, I'm gonna get a nice and easy win so people can remember me, and I'll say farewell. You know what would be good for AJ? AJ versus White or AJ versus Wilder. One of the two, get a nice win and just call it a day. That's what I'll do if I'm AJ, bro.
That's exactly what I said, man. I said the same thing.
Yeah.
Your best days are behind you, bro. Your chance of being a unified champion is done. You ain't ever gonna do that anymore. So there's no point. You've made as much money as possible. You ain't gonna have them $50 million nights anymore. So try and fight a Wilder or try and fight a White. Those are winnable fights, and just sail off into the sunset.
Yeah, I mean, AJ been sleeping on them Gucci silk sheets for years. You know what I mean? Ryan Frazier, big shout out to you, bro. He said, "What's up, G5? AJ losing on that stage is good for boxing. We love the huge upsets in boxing. Dubois has reset the division. I hope AJ can recover." I mean, Shane said it best, man. He is maybe 1 or 2 fights he needs to go get and then just hang them up. At the end of the day, DM3 says Shane was right on point. I was thinking the Haney fight was similar to the AJ fight. I will add this: instead of going backwards, you should be going left or right angles.
The only difference is though, Haney learned from that. Learned from that. The first round, Haney gets caught with a left hook. His dad tells him in the corner, "Don't catch the left hook, roll the left hook." From round 2 to round 6, on every scorecard, Haney won every single round.
Yeah.
In round 6, his dad says to him, "It's time to step it up and go forward." That's when he gets caught in round 7.
Get caught again.
So the instructions that his dad originally gave him was correct.
And then he switched it.
So
why go from round 2 to round 6 and it's working, and why tell him to change it up when everything is working?
And so it's pretty much straightforward. Whereas AJ, on the other hand, he never once got back in a fight. Once he got caught, it was over. The Devin Haney's powers of recovery is way better than AJ's. The only difference is though, Dubois and Ryan both started the same way. They both started coming out extremely fast. They came out extremely fast, and Devin has the footwork to reset Ryan. So that's why he was able to reset him in the first 5 rounds. AJ doesn't. So
yeah, I agree. Dylan said crisis coaches are just crap coaches. It's simple. Coach's job should be to give his best advice for the fighter to win the fight. Ben Davis.
No, that's not necessarily the case.
I was going to say I don't agree with that comment. He said Ben Davison telling AJ to throw double jab right hand while he's getting pieced up is bad advice.
No, but crisis coaches are extremely, for you to say crisis coaches are extremely necessary. Like crisis coaches aren't crack coaches. Crisis coaches are people who your fight is hurt. It's boxing. It's boxing. Even Floyd, the greatest defensive fighter of all time, has been hurt before. So you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna be in a situation where you're down on the cards, or you're gonna need to win the last 2 rounds. You need a crisis coach. You need a coach to say stop all this and let's get this done.
And Dylan, I want to explain this too. A crisis coach is not the X's and O's. When a fighter is in a fight, or a fighter is getting hurt, or they look confused
down on the cards,
you have to say something or do something to get them re-engaged and get them re-locked in. And a crisis coach does that. So it's not all about the X's and O's, but a crisis coach, I would take a crisis coach over a great coach that can't handle well under a crisis. You understand what I'm saying? Because if it's not a crisis, more than likely the fighter can get through it on his own. He don't need
literally.
You know what I mean? So Dylan, think about that.
Are these how many times do people listen to the in-corner instructions of a Dimitri Bivol? Never, because he's never in a crisis.
He's never in a crisis. He gets through it. Facts.
So you don't really need an X's and O's coach in that situation. But let's say he goes in against Viterbi, if he's injured. I don't want your X's and O's coach. I want a crisis coach. Help me out of this situation.
Right.
Let me get through this fight. And I've seen it, bro. I've literally seen. I think the most Teddy Atlas is probably the most famous for his in-corner instructions. But I remember, Jeff, you will always remember when Shane Mosley fought and brother Nassim Richardson says, bro, we got to stop what we're doing. We got to change the game plan because this ain't working.
This ain't working.
And sometimes you got to do that because sometimes someone might present you with something and it's completely different to what you had planned.
And you also have to be honest. You got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with your fighter. You got to be honest with the situation that you're in. You know what I mean?
If Bomac doesn't say to Bud, you're down on the cards, Bud don't go out and stop Sean Porter.
That fight's probably going to
distance. Literally, Bud don't go out and stop Sean Porter. Then 30 seconds later, Sean Porter's on the canvas. So you need a crisis coach.
Bomac knew he had to say that to Bud to get him to snap. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Dylan saying, are these comments even visible? Hell yeah, it's visible. I've been reading your comments for the past 30 minutes, brother. Ryan said Anderson was able to hit Bacoli. Dubois got the power jab that can throw off a lot of heavyweights. So some people believe he beat Usyk, the best heavyweight in the world right now. Listen, Dubois is on a hot streak, bro, and we got to give him his credit. He's on a hot streak, and we got to give him his credit. But like Shane said, he's keeping it simple. He's keeping it simple. He's keeping it basic. He's not overthinking.
Literally, he's not overthinking, and that's literally what's happening.
Yeah. Fabian, never heard of a crisis coach. That means you're planning for a lot of crisis. I was told always to always.
No, bro.
Go ahead, Shane. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Bomac is a great coach, all the way around. But he's also a crisis coach in a sense that it is an attribute that you have part of your repertoire. It's not just the only thing you're known for. But it's an attribute that you have to have as a coach. As a great coach, there's no coach that's I would say that's an elite coach that's gonna talk to their fighter, and when they're losing, just be calm. You gotta say something to get them out of this crisis. Whether they're down on the cards and you gotta tell them to pick it up, or they've just been hurt and rocked, or they're down, they've been dropped. You got to say something. So a crisis coach is going to be someone who's going to help you when you're in a crisis, but it's not the only attribute that person has.
And another thing, bro, is you're always told to win. There's different fashions of winning. You might have to walk through fire to get.
You have to make adjustments, bro. You have to make adjustments.
Yeah, it might be an easy win. Like you have to make adjustments. So a guy that's a crisis coach and a versatile coach and an honest coach. We've seen coaches lie to fighters all the time in the corner. They be getting stomped.
I mean, I'll tell you a coach who I know you have a lot of respect for him, but I'll tell you a person who's the complete opposite of a crisis coach, but is an amazing technical coach, and that's Coach Cunningham. Coach Cunningham is arguably, if you want to go in a gym and learn X's and O's of boxing, go and get Cunningham. But when it's down, he's going to tell you that you won a round that you didn't. and he was doing that to Pacquiao with Adrian Broner versus Pacquiao, and when he fought Mikey Garcia, and
he was
that's not
lying
what
to
he
his guy.
wants.
He was lying to his guy. Yeah. Joe Joyce is a whipping bag.
Who what's my guy's name? The guy who used to coach Lamont Peterson. I'm looking at him right now, bro. You know,
you talking about oh my god. Barry Hunter.
Barry, thank you very much. Barry Hunter.
Hunter's another
He's
one.
an amazing crisis coach, bro.
Yeah.
He
got the technical skill too.
Huh?
And he has the technical skill too. And listen, he wasn't the main trainer, but he was the secondary trainer in the corner when Chris Colbert got knocked out against Rio. And remember when Chris Colbert wasn't listening to his coach?
Yeah.
And Barry Hunter was just looking at him. And when he got knocked out, he just looked in the ring. He was just disappointed.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
I've seen Barry Hunter tell everybody in the corner to stop talking and to just focus on me. Go watch the Lamont Peterson Errol Spence fight and tell me if that, bro, the in corner instructions and the way you handle a corner, even though he lost, that's how I want a coach to be.
Yeah. Dialine said they're basically glorified yes men. AJ's ego is astronomical and he's fake as F on the mic. I mean, it's a fine line you gotta walk, but if AJ gotta win, he should want somebody in his corner that's gonna tell him the truth. Scotty said, I believe Usyk retires, win or lose against Fury. I don't know if I'm buying that. Fabian said Usyk was the best thing that happened to Dubois. Disguise and hide him and hit him. He's good. He'll get paid for a few fights now. Dubois, I mean, he's one of the hottest fighters in the sport right now.
Right.
He's one of the hottest fighters in the sport. Dialine, who the F is Tommy Dokes? That is somebody on the channel that is cool with the channel. Fabian said that ref in Dubois Usyk was biased, and I'm a Usyk fan. That was a rough fight to watch from a referee standpoint. Scotty says Zhang's got no gas tank. Bacoli is the boogeyman. I would say Bacoli's the person that you don't want to fight because you're gonna have a hard night at the office.
And there's no money.
Crazy. Yeah, there's no money. Zhang versus Chisora is a piss take for Zhang. Chisora is miles past it. Zhang should get a big name. Bacoli maybe. I'm with
Bacoli's not a big name.
He's not a big name. He's a hot fighter. He's a big. He's a hot fighter right now. He's not a big name.
You can't say Chisora is not a big name and then say Bacoli. Bacoli's a smaller name than Chisora.
Yes, facts. Tommy said the up and coming talent like Torres didn't look good this past week. Sanchez lost, Anderson lost. Fury, AJ, Wilder, and Usyk all the way out. Dubois can run a division for a long time. Heavyweight division's up in the air right now, but as long as Usyk is active, Usyk's the guy. Dylan Zhang would kill Chisora in 2 rounds.
Maybe.
Maybe. Brennan said Fury versus Big Bang.
That ain't ever gonna happen.
That ain't gonna happen. Pennant said Jarrell Miller versus Derek Chisora might happen next. I mean, I ain't mad at that fight. Tommy Dubois has the new Brazilian girlfriend, got him flying high.
Whoa,
that's funny.
That's what Coochie can do for you, bro.
Pennant said Jallo versus Zhang, US versus CN. I'm cool with that. Scotty said no, it was Jerry Forrest.
Jerry Forrest. I knew it was one of
them. Yes. Fabian, I saw it coming years ago. Joshua did it with that fat Mexican and others. Why you gonna call him a fat Mexican? You out of pocket. LR, what's up? He said hello from boot camp in Sweden. Hey man, salute to you, brother. Salute to you. We got Sweden in the building. Canelo High Guard said Derek. Out of the last 3 trainers, Garcia, James, Davison, who was AJ's best?
Davison. It's still been Davison.
Yeah, but we don't like him when the chips is down.
Facts.
Dylan said, I don't think AJ does know it. That's a thing. He's always looking to a coach for what to do. If he knew it, he'd do it. Fury was right. He's big, stiff body builder with a big one too. My guy, our guy, YSM Sports
Shout
Media.
out to YSM, that's my guy.
Yes, sir. Biggest flaws is hand placement and inability to make adjustments in real time. Agreed, bro. Agreed. And he's been doing it for a while. Jamie Leroy, big shout out, saying problem with Bacoli, everyone's gonna avoid fighting him. Agreed. Who he signed with?
He signed boxer, Sky Sports boxer, Ben Shalom.
Okay. Fabian, I want to see Zhang against anybody. Zhang is an exciting fighter, man. Exciting fighter. Scotty won't be able to avoid Bacoli when they have to face him as a mandatory.
Yes, they can. They just relinquish
Yeah,
it.
you just relinquish the belt. Yeah. Dylan, if he's been boxing for 15 years and doesn't perform it in the ring, then he's just not good enough. Simple as that. He's got by with good matchmaking and raw athleticism. Listen, man, I can't argue that. I can't argue that. It's called hitting your peak. He hit his peak. My guy DT3, the boom man, top of the AM, fellas. Big shout out to you, DT3. I gotta hit you up too, man. I appreciate the video you dropped. Dylan said that's just a coach's job. Crisis coach is just a fancy buzzword. Davidson is a yes man. He's not. He's not a crisis coach, no matter who he's coaching.
Right.
Like, get the fact that it's AJ. That's the case with him, period. Bruce said, salute brothers, G5 in the panel. Big shout out to Bruce Gas. Brennan said, I think Fury will be against Usyk. I still think that's going to be a 50-50 fight.
I think Usyk wins that, bro.
I don't know. I'm saying it's close. I think it plays different than the last fight, but
I think Usyk actually stops Fury this time.
Really? Okay. Pennant said there is a lot, much more better qualities of heavyweights now than the Klitschko era. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Y'all wore me out today in the comment section, man. Y'all both.
Is that all the comments?
Yeah, that's all the comments. We're gonna close this out, man.
Yeah, bro.
Hour 41 minutes long. Y'all got me late for work. But I appreciate y'all, man. Legend, can you tell your partner? Can you send me his information for the next show? I'm gonna send him the link from the rip.
Gotcha.
So he can jump right in. That's cool.
Gotcha. Cool.
Legend, give me your social media, brother.
Yeah, man. Facebook, Todd Finney, IG, the Legend 3347 podcast in this corner.
Shane, let them know where you at, bro.
I'm seeing the number 1. That's how you can find me on Instagram.
Yes, sir. And I'm all over the place, man. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that, everything G5 Jeff TV, man. We getting the hell up out of here, man. Y'all done held up half my day, man. We gonna see y'all next week. Salute.